know it's cold outside, but it's warm in here, and so that's why I want to make sure our fans, make sure they know it's warm in Bud Walton Arena. We want a packed house, and with the Vanderbilt team coming in here, first SEC home game on the network, so we want to make sure the nation get a chance to see us on full display. That means our basketball team as well as our fans. Vanderbilt is playing well. They won their opener at home against Auburn team, led by Damian Jones, a young player of size that played well last year. He's a center, forward that can step out and very active, step out and make shots. He's good around the basket. Played well against us last year. Sikkim is their senior. Kevin has a lot of young players, and I'm sure he's excited about this basketball team. It's like when you get new blood. You got some new blood, new energy, and this team's playing well. They've played a pretty good schedule, won some road games, and so they'll come in here already battle tested. And so it's going to be another opportunity for us to hopefully get better in the SEC play.
Mike, what do you think's gotten into Landis the last couple games?
He's taking his practice to the games. I think, he was in the starting lineup, and I started bringing him off. And maybe it's, in a sense, maybe took some of the pressure off of him, and just. But he's been practicing well. I've been seeing this coming for quite a while, and he's just taking it over to the game. And as a guy coming off the bench, you sit there and you watch and see what's going on and see where you can go in and impact the game. And I think with that second group, he's doing that. Playing with a lot of confidence too. This is his second year, and it takes a while for a guy that transfers into, his role is a little bit bigger. So now he understands it a little bit better.
That step back, jumper he takes. What do you think of that shot? It seems like it's working pretty good for him right now.
Well, when it goes in, I'm happy, I'm fine with it. But when it don't go in, I got a problem with it. And so, but it's like anything else. That's how he shoots the basketball, and obviously we're trying to get him to be on balance. So if you miss it, you can go get it. But it's something he's comfortable with, and shooting is all about confidence. I don't care how the form and all that. The results have been good for him so far. But he's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
You look at that closing lineup the other day. How much of a defensive emphasis was there with Anton Emmanuel specifically being out there? How important was their defense to you?
I thought it was real critical for our basketball team at that time. The guys that started out. I think we took them out with like 14 minutes. Those guys entered the game with 14 minutes and 33 seconds to go, and I did not take them out. So with the timeouts and just they were into the game. It was a group that was working. So I think it was critical. They were a unit. It was a unit that was really playing well together. Landis was with them. Then I think Moses started out with him. Then Bobby came off the bench. Bell was out there with them. So we had momentum going, and so we entered and got Mike back out there. But those guys were the key cogs, and just their defense, their unselfishness, and they play to win. The ball moves, the ball finds the open guy, and you had some. I thought we had some unsung heroes out there, especially Emmanuel Watkins. I mean, he had a big bucket for us. He threw it to Bobby. I think they cut it to 2, and after a timeout, we were up 6, and they cut it to 2, and lo and behold, the guy that makes the shot was Emmanuel Watkins on a pass from Bobby Portis. And that, to me, is when you can pinpoint who's going to shoot the shot, it's a little different. But when that ball moves and you got some guys that can make plays, it makes a big difference.
You saw Anton hit a lot of big shots in high school, but has his defensive scrappiness kind of surprised you a little bit?
No, I saw that. That's his toughness. He plays with his heart. I think he's a guy that plays with his heart. He's going to do whatever it takes to help you win. I think he's like that. I think Manuel's like that. They got big-time motors, and if you watch our team, whoever plays with that bunch, it gets contagious. You see Bobby out there diving on the floor. I mean, I just saw a lot of different things. Mike really Landers running lanes, because they know with those guys they're going to move the basketball. They're going to fix things on defense, and that's what I thought I saw, especially in the second half. I thought we did a good job of making adjustments and just wearing down Georgia, fixing things on defense, not giving them just easy opportunities at the basket.
Coach, how big was just an opening road SEC win for this basketball team?
Well, it can build, the win, number one, is continues to build continuity. Our guys are getting better at what we're doing. There's different combinations out on the floor. We're seeing different guys in different situations. Moses and Bobby starting their game out. But it's just good to see our guys finish off a game of that magnitude in that setting. So winning just builds confidence, and that's what you want to do. We've been playing well lately, and we want to continue to play well.
You said earlier this season the pats on the back might have been a problem when you lost a couple road games. Do you think they learned their lesson now as they're getting a few more pats on the back?
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope the leadership guys that have been here, through last year and this year, they can get that point over to this team. It's a race. It's not a sprint. That was one game. There's a lot out there for us. But the only way the approach we're gonna have is one day at a time, one game at a time, one practice at a time. They see it through my eyes, and we should be fine with that.
Vandy, you mentioned the new blood. They're starting 3 freshmen, playing 5. This is going to be those guys' first SEC road game. How tough an environment do you think this is for freshmen like that? For the first SEC road game.
Well, I mean, I can't say that. We know we got we think we have a home court advantage, and when our fans show up and they show out, to us it's like 8 to 10 points. But I can't say how those guys react. They played in some different venues already, and they're playing well. They shooting over 50% from the field. I think you got a freshman and a sophomore, like 2 of the top 3 scorers. So it's a team that they're not going to beat themselves. So we're going to have to take the fight to them, so to speak. And Kevin does a great job with them. So it should be a great atmosphere.
Obviously, the overall road record isn't great, but you look, y'all have won, I think, 4 of the last 6 road games. You think it's time for that narrative and perception of not being able to win on the road to be put away?
Well, it's amazing how everybody talks about that, and I mean, if you know basketball and you watch our basketball team last year, I mean, we were so close to winning a lot of games on the road. We were plays away. And so it's just a matter of getting players to make plays. And so we got players to make plays. And if you understand basketball. But if you want a story to write about what's been going on since I left and since I've come back, Rose, I mean, it's basketball to me is basketball. And that's how it's going to be with our guys, if they can go and play in Alaska on the pavement, and it's a game, it's basketball. The goal's going to be 10 feet high. The court's going to be what it is. So, but I'll say it again. This is a different year. This is a different team and a different mindset. So, but you got to go out and prove it, and that's the key. You got to go out and prove it.
Coach, it's almost been years since you guys have lost in Bud Bowl. What's the biggest key to continue that success on Saturday?
Just playing Razorback basketball, playing the fastest 40 minutes of hell, just getting after people, making people uncomfortable. Continue to use our depth, getting our crowd into it. It's when you come here, it's 2 hours of sheer energy, sheer entertainment, and I think our players have done a good job of protecting the home court. And when you're in a race, and that's what we are, we're in a championship race, you got to take care of home. And so our guys hopefully have that mindset.
The freshman got Riley LaChance, who's averaging 13-something. I guess he wore a mask the other night because he's got a broken nose. And then Shelton Mitchell is the freshman point guard, leading with 69 assists. Watching those guys, is there anything about them that stands out? Or how impressive is it to see a couple true freshmen playing like that?
Well, they don't look like true freshmen. I mean, they played 14 games. So they're not really true freshmen now. And they got their first sampling of SEC basketball versus Auburn in a game that was nip and tough, and they figured out how to win it. And those kids were the LaChance kid can really shoot the basketball, and of course the Mitchell kid he runs the show. So I think Kevin got some real good basketball players, and he's got them to go with Damian Jones, who's playing real well. So they're good players, really good players, and everybody's got good players. They got guys coming off the bench. The big Cornette kid can really shoot the basketball. 6'11" kid can step out and shoot the basketball. So they got a lot of weapons. They shoot it well. They execute their offense well. They pack their defense. They want to make you shoot jump shots, and they will run. They will push the basketball. They like to score, but they've been playing well.
With Atlantis, I know you can't expect him to go 7 out of 8 every game, but if he can, keep playing like this, how big will that be for you guys?
Our bench is critical to our basketball team, and he's a guy that comes off our bench. So if you can get a guy that's like a starter to come and give you those starters kind of minutes, those starters kind of productivity, then it just gives you another dimension to your team. I talk about guys playing at a high level. We get him going at a high level. We got Bobby who's playing really well. Mike's playing well. We've got to continue to get Kai to playing well. I think Jabril Durham is doing a very, very good job for us. I think he's helping command things out there. He's pushing the tempo. We see Moses getting more and more comfortable out on the floor. So now we can see this team changing before our eyes. We get more depth. We get more guys stepping up and being productive. Manuel Watkins continues to really play with a lot of confidence. Beard coming off an injury, I thought he played really, really well. So our depth is very, very critical. But having a guy like Landis, he gives us a level of toughness that you got to have, especially going into the venues we're going to go into and playing at home.
Bobby's a humble kid. He comes in here, he talks about being just an okay player and, wants to get better and all that. But the other night, did he not step up and try to be the man early on, and that helped to keep y'all in?
He carried us. I thought he carried us early on. I thought Bobby was, he was demanding the ball, and that's something that we've been looking for to take place with him. And I was proud of our guys because our guys did a good job of getting him the basketball. But he made some. He kept us in it. Because Georgia came out with a lot of emotion. They were sky high. They were making shots from everywhere, and of course Bobby was the guy that kind of answered it and kept us in there. So at halftime we was only down 7, and of course Landis did a good job in the second half to help finish it off.
You guys had some good crowds this year, but I think the biggest has been about 9,000 or something for Dayton. Do you get a sense now that, especially since you guys beat Georgia, the crowds are going to start getting bigger and more raucous, and for this game Saturday?
Bob, one of the things I talked about, as I was here, and even as I came back here, I talked about the passion, the great atmosphere that takes place at Bud Walton Arena. We got a team that's playing well. I expect our people to show up. I really do. I expect it to be I'm expecting a packed house, to tell you the truth. And so we've got a product that's playing well. These kids are fun to watch. I think they're fun to watch. And to have the SEC network to come, this is the first game on the SEC network, SEC game. And so I think it'll be fitting for us to have a packed house here.
Okay, you look at Damian Jones. What is it about him that he's putting up these good numbers? He's obviously big, but what's his skill set?
Well, he's athletic. He's very, very skilled. He was a guy that we looked at, and so he's gotten better. I think he played last year. He started last year, and so experience is a big factor, in the development of guys. We look at Bobby from year 1 to year 2. He's made remarkable strides. Well, Damian has done that as well, and he's their go-to guy. So he's athletic, he's long, block shots, he really runs the floor well, can score in a different variety of ways. So we got to keep him off the glass, I know that, and we've got to go in there and make him make plays, double up on him, get the ball out of his hands to make those other guys make plays.